Introducing the Nexus 360, D'Addario's first rechargeable omnidirectional tuner. Visible at every turn, from any angle, no matter where you wind up. Nexus 360, built for your next stage.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Keys for From Your Guitar. I am joined today by my very good friends, All Them Witches. Ben, how you doing?
Great. Awesome.
This is awesome. One of probably the first band that I fell in love with after moving to Nashville is these guys, and it couldn't be better dudes, and I'm so glad to say that they sold out the Ryman on Halloween. So, of course, you got the crosses. We're in the church of, music, we'll say, rather than country music. But anyways, Ben, guitar, some things have changed, some things have stayed the same.
Yes.
Les Paul.
Yes, so this is kind of a starting point for me. I absolutely love this guitar. It's been going strong for 10 years now. It's just a 2010 traditional, and did a couple modifications to it. Took off the speed knobs back here. Actually, originally I took off all the speed knobs, but I like doing volume swells, and I'm constantly changing the volume knobs on it. So
do you ever mess with the internal pots, like the Ks, between 250 or 500? Do you ever do anything like that?
Yes, I think that it's back to the original ones.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Exactly how it was, but I like the speed knobs on the volume. They're a lot easier to grab than the witch hats, even though witch hats would be the way to go.
Yeah. Clearly.
All them witch
Yeah,
hats.
and I had a bone nut put in. Actually, every setup that I've had on this guitar pretty much has been, I actually just picked these back up today from Derek over at Eastside Music Supply. He's my favorite dude. He's awesome.
Even wrote an article for PG about guitar setup, so yeah, he's
Heck
all over
yeah,
the place.
Killer. And then same as a couple years ago in that first rig rundown, I got the super distortion in the treble pickup, and then the rhythm pickup is just the classic 57 that it came with.
And do you use the 57 on the neck a
Oh
lot?
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, I love it. And then this is just extremely loud, and you can be clean here, and then a lot of the times I'll treat this as like a booster pedal, and I'll just boom, pop it like that, and it's immediately louder and distorted and fuzzed out. It's awesome.
Now I know that a lot of times you use swells in your music or slide playing. Is it something you ever messed with the volume pedal on the floor, or have you always kind of done the guitar knobs?
I am not a volume pedal dude. I've always said that there's a reason why volume knobs are on the guitar. It's just so fast, and then if you have volume pedals are great for like country stuff and things like that, but I'm mainly doing it just to clean up, and they're right there, and it's probably a lot faster. And then you can do cool stuff like blending.
Yeah.
If I'm on the middle, I can like blend more treble out of it and stuff like that you can't do with the volume pedal. So.
And anything else we should know about this since the last one? I know that the previous one you had mentioned you did different saddles, right?
It is way more beat up. Yeah, but it's gnarly. And I had a couple people sign the back of it the past few years, and then it always wears off.
Who? Any ones that you care to share?
The dude from the Meat Puppets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then it wore off. But yeah, I absolutely love this guitar. I will probably play it until it can't be played anymore.
And since the last one, Dying Surfer, you guys put out 3 records. Imagine this is a big part of all those.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Including Abbey Road, the last one.
Yes, yeah. So there's a cool. I did something really cool with the Abbey Road one. So the guitar, if you're listening with headphones or like stereo, the guitar on the right is my Knaggs, which you'll see in a little bit, and the guitar on the left side is the Les Paul.
Cool.
And I've always wanted to do that, so it was neat because there's a lot of dual rhythm chugging and like riffs going on, but.
And is there like a specific tuning that this one works with, or a certain material?
So this is always in D standard and then drop C most of the time.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I'm still using 10s. So when you hit that low C, it's bow, like you'll hit it, and it gets really sharp, but that's the sound. Always slightly out of tune. That's all them witches.
Yeah.
So
just something always a little weird.
Yeah. Man, this thing feels great. I love this.
Well, should we move on to another guitar?
Yeah, absolutely. I got my buddy Robby.
I've met him before.
As my tech. Thank you, Robby.
Yeah.
Killer. All right, so this guitar is, it was not custom made for me, but this company Knaggs, they're based in Greensboro, Maryland, near the Chesapeake Bay. And the guy, Joe Knaggs, he hit me up a couple years ago and was just like, I want to send you some guitars. And I looked at his guitars and I was just basically replied, absolutely. Like,
yeah.
When?
Yeah.
When can you do that?
Here's my address.
And I've tried a couple different guitars that he sent. This is my absolute favorite. It's called a Honga, Honga. And I wanted something SG-ish. It's kind of like an SG body.
Yeah.
But this guitar has an ungodly amount of mid-range. It is so awesome. And it's got a beefy, like baseball bat size neck, which I love. I have big hands. And it's just an amazingly well-built guitar. The pickups, they're both the same. They're bare knuckle mules.
Okay.
It's my first time playing bare knuckle pickups, and they're incredible. They're so clear.
How would you say they're voiced, or like their output is set? Is it high, low,
Very hot.
Okay.
Very hot. Oh yeah. Like this guitar is way louder than the Les Paul, but they both have their place. But yeah, these are the bare knuckle mules, and then I like the style of this one being plated and then this one being not plated. So I don't know how they were able to. I didn't know that you could get a pickup without a plate on it, but that's what he sent, and they're great. And I'm considering putting in these same pickups, the bare knuckle mules and the Les Paul, at least starting off in the neck pickup.
Okay. Now I've seen you also play other Knaggs. I want to say even like a semi-hollow or a hollow Cheyenne, if I'm correct.
Yes. In fact, you guys did a little write-up about it. That guitar is awesome. It's a killer jazz guitar, but it doesn't fit in my road case. So it doesn't go on tour. I like to have the Scott Dixon cases. But actually, Derek over at Eastside modded this guitar for me. The pickup selector used to be down here, and so he just patched this with it's like a steel just cap that he just stuck on there, and then wired this, because I like to do a lot of back and forth, and I'm used to the Les Paul. And the first couple weeks that I had this guitar playing shows, I was like, this is a perfect sounding guitar, but I kept going for the pickup selector up here. Yeah. And so I was just like, can you do that? But I emailed Joe from Knaggs first. I was like, is it okay if he butchers this thing?
You don't want to be rude.
So, but yeah, this is a great guitar. This dude makes phenomenal guitars.
And then what typical tuning does this go in? And still 10s?
Same thing with 10s.
Okay.
For some reason, it feels tighter. I don't know why. Maybe the neck's a little longer.
Yeah, if because Joe's from PRS, that's where he got to start, and he brings out his own.
Exactly.
I don't know if he adopted that PRS scale, which is 25.
This definitely has more frets than the Les Paul. So it's funny when I say it out loud, I realize why it feels tighter. It's because the neck's longer.
Figured it out on the fly. Well, should we talk about the Telecaster here?
Absolutely, yes. Robby, thank you.
Thanks, Robby.
Great. So this is my if all else fails kind of thing, which I have not had to use yet. It's a 52 reissue Butterscotch. I'm obsessed with Roy Buchanan, so I had to have a guitar that looked like the one that he had, the Butterscotch with the black pickguard. I actually modded this whole thing myself, good enough. I reversed the plate and then switched the tone and the volume. So this is your volume knob, and you can get like really cool country pedal steel bends just riding that volume knob. And I even like raised it a little bit. So
I see it's off the pickguard.
So it sticks out a little bit more. And then got one that's a little sharper. And I just Googled how to do it, and it ended up working. And then I recently, actually it was probably last year, I put in Lindy Fralin Blues Specials, because my current favorite guitar player is Kenny Vaughn, and I read that he uses the Blues Specials in his tellies. So this is I don't play it with all them witches ever. It's just kind of a backup, but when I'm home, this is the only guitar that I play. I love this guitar.
What do you dig about it?
It's just twangy, and it's with the pickup upgrade, it's a little bit louder, it's more full, and you can really fly on it. It's great. I love this guitar. But yeah, it's got some scars already.
Well loved.
From poor pack jobs by yours truly. So yeah.
Well, cool, Ben. Let's talk amps.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got the tried and true twin reverb we saw last time, I believe.
Oh yeah. So
since 4th grade, right?
Yeah, 4th grade is when I got this bad boy, and yeah, nothing has changed. The only thing that's different in the first rig rundown that we did, I did have a master volume hole that was covered up by a Grateful Dead sticker, and I had my buddy Alad, who will get up here in a little bit, reinstall a master just for home purposes.
Yeah.
I never use it live. It's always on 10. And I think I'm using a little bit more bass now, because before I'd have bass on like 4, even maybe 3, but now it's on 5. And I have literally in my opinion, my favorite and the best speakers I've ever played in it. They're the Warehouse Guitar Blackhawk Alnico.
And they're 12s, right? Because I know that you've experimented with 10s before for recording purposes.
Yeah, for Sleeping Through the War, I had 2 ET65 10-inch speakers. And then now I have the Warehouse Blackhawk Alnicos, and I have a Princeton reverb at home that I modded to have a 12, and I put that in there, and that speaker is just amazing. It's so good.
Now I know that you have, and just typically, bands do this quite often, is use smaller amps to get huge sounds.
Yes.
I know that you've done that. Have you ever thought to bring those small amps? Now that you're recording run through a PA, so feasibly it could work. Have you ever thought to bring like a small amp like that? I know that you have like a Harmony, I believe, that you use.
Oh yeah.
Any ideas that you would ever do that?
I've thought about bringing the Princeton, but I don't normally have a lot in my wedges, so I like to have a lot of guitar like coming from behind.
Natural?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, like a lot of that, and a lot of the times I'll set my monitor, I'll set the guitars pretty loud in the monitor, so if I'm soloing, I can just get closer to my monitor. But if I'm back here and like grooving with Robby or something, I can still hear it here, and my mix doesn't go away when I move back. So that's the only reason why I like the higher wattage, super high headroom stuff.
Yeah. And then on European stuff, and I know that you mentioned it in the last record off camera, and I'm sure other interviews, is that you use high watt.
Yes.
Is that, again, that's the clean high headroom stuff?
Oh yeah. They have been gracious enough to hook us up in Europe. They always provide backline, and for Nothing Is the Ideal, they gave us a truck full of amps just to use, and it was awesome. I love this dude. Arv, hope you're watching this. I miss you.
Now let's move on to this thing. It's like the secret weapon. I feel like we need a roadmap to figure out kind of like what is going on here. So just walk us through everything and tell us what's going on.
So these amps right here, they're pretty darn incredible. They're the sickest looking amps, and they're called Dale amps. And this guy, we're still kind of experimenting with it, but right now it's like 50 watts, and it is similar to a JCM 800.
Okay.
It actually has a high watt output transformer in it, and it's a gain monster. It's awesome, because I handcuffed myself on the new record because I used all these like high gain heads and things like that. And the twin, it doesn't matter what pedal you're using, when I play it, I think it still sounds like a twin, so I needed something super high gain, and our buddy Alad, who makes these amps, built this like super last minute before this tour, and he built it in a day. So yeah, it's crazy.
Did you have any input, or is it just kind of like his design, and this is kind of more suited to what you would need?
We had been talking about a high gain amp for probably a couple of years, and I wanted it to be like a JCM 800 or like a Silver Jubilee kind of thing, and it's insane. It's a pissed off Marshall.
Now is it 50 or 100 watt?
Right now it's 50. We're gonna bump it up to 100 watts for December.
Is that just more volume, more headroom?
Yeah. Not necessarily volume. It's just when I switch back and forth between the twin and the Dale, I'll be getting the same punch as the twin. It's all about just feel, I guess.
And then how do you know, JCMs have come in different formats tube-wise, like KTs and EL34s. What's in here?
Right now it has Mullard EL34s.
Okay.
And I'm trying to convince him to give me more gain.
Never enough.
I need more, out of it. So live, let's talk about the cab. It has Warehouse ET65s.
So same.
In it.
Okay.
So Blackhawk Alnico,
okay.
Warehouse ET65. There's another version of the Warehouse guitar speakers that we might test out as well. And this cab is open back as well, which I like. Just a big open sound, even with a high gain sound, I love. But live, I'm never using the twin and the Dale at the same time.
Okay.
It's only either or, so this is going to be like super metal riffage kind of stuff.
God comes back, stuff like that.
Yes, exactly. This head also really loves fuzz pedals.
Really?
Which normally it's like when you have a high gain amp.
I think this one would be the one.
Yeah, but this, it's like it gets more bass, it gets deeper, and it actually does get louder when I click on my my stomp underfoot fuzz pedal, which is great, because you never know with a high gain amp.
Yeah, it's kind of like the threshold and the dynamics get kind of squashed in a not pleasurable way.
Exactly.
Now,
so
go ahead.
This is your gain, like preamp gain, master volume, and this is your presence. Down here, this is your bass. In the middle, this is dimed, always mid-range.
Yeah.
Gotta love the mids. And then right here, this is treble. So I have the presence almost all the way down, but treble cranked. And then mids, full blast. The gain is almost full blast, but it'll start to squeal when I get close to it. But
now, before we move on to pedals, Ben, what slides are you using? I see them on top.
Yes,
of it. I'm gonna touch on that.
It's the Dunlop it's either the 218 or the 213, and I like it because I'm a pinky slide player, and I like my pinky to go out of it because then you can grip it, you can bend your pinky in it, and these are the best. I lose them all the time. People in smaller shows, people in the front row will take them. So every time I'm at Guitar Center or something like that, I'll buy as many as I can.
Have you ever messed around with anything like brass or any of the other materials?
Oh yeah.
You just prefer the glass?
I use the brass slide on Lightning at the Door.
Okay.
Only. And they're very grabby, but my dad was making fun of me for using a brass slide because he's a huge Dwayne Allman fan. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to glass, but I'm not gonna use my ring finger. I'm gonna keep using my pinky.
And cork seed bottle either. Cork seed bottle.
Yeah. I used to use those, but it's hard. I do like the slide rhythm hybrid style, and it's harder for me to. It has to be a short, fat slide because
so you can still make chords.
Yeah, on like Charles William, I'm actually playing chords and stuff like that, and then quickly going to slide. So those are great. All right, as far as picks, I use the yellow Dunlop Tortex 0.73. These are my favorite. They're really bendy. They don't break strings as much, and I'm actually going to get my cat's face on the next shipment.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk pedals, Ben, I'm going to have the amp builder himself, McLeod, here. He's going to talk to us about this beast and give him some camera time for his new company. And so tell me about, Ben had touched on it's kind of falls underneath the tree of the JCM 800.
Yeah.
What's really going on here, and describe what's your MO?
So it's kind of it started as a JCM. It's like a it's like a 4-stage high gain amplifier running EL34s on the output, 312 AX7s. Pretty standard stuff. Does have a part-ridge output transformer, which those are the high watt transformers, and they sound really, really good. Really open and nice. They're really chimey sounding. The biggest difference between this and a JCM is that this doesn't have a cold clipper stage.
What does that mean in layman terms?
Most high gain amplifiers have one of the gain stages. They have it's called a cold clipper. It's the way the tube is biased, and it does this thing. Without getting too technical, it does this thing that I personally don't like.
Okay.
And so this doesn't have that. So this, it just sounds like an angry Marshall, which is kind of what we wanted. Also, it will clean up really nice if you plug straight in. You can clean it up real nice from your volume. So that's important to me, at least. I like amps that can clean up, you know. And that's it. It's 50 watt right now. It's going to be 100 pretty soon. That's it.
Now, in terms of like, is that kind of your favorite amp, you know, coming from that, or is this more like you built this knowing that this would go into Ben's arsenal with the twin reverb really well, or is that?
Yeah, I built this for Ben. Like this whole backline that we have, like I built specifically for them,
band,
like
okay.
knowing the band and knowing what they sound like and kind of what they want and what I thought would be good for them,
Yeah.
and obviously together. So that's what we did, and then yeah, I would like for this to be a production thing for sure.
And, you know, we will talk to Parks in a minute, but we might as well, since you're on camera, we got you mic'd up. What's kind of under the hood magic with Parks amps?
Parks has 2 amps. One of them is a clean amp that's kind of based on an Ampeg circuit, but it has 6 606s running the output section at 120 watt. The next model I'm going to is going to be 200, but like I personally don't really like KT88 amps for bass somehow. I always liked like Bassmans and like, you know, B15s and stuff like that. So
All right.
606, it's kind of that round, thumpy, really nice bluesy sound. So that's what that amp is. It has an additional mid-range control and has a nice transformer for DI output.
Okay.
And then that's his clean amp. The amp stays on all the time, it's always clean. Then he has another amp that's based on a Sun Model T that I added a gain stage to it, and I beefed up the power supply, more voltage, blah, 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 change a bunch of stuff. So that's kind of like a Doom amp. It's like you can plug straight into it and just like, brah, you know, kind
Now,
of thing.
I know that he uses a guitar sometimes, like a mini Rick, that if he still has it from the last rundown. Is that like more guitar, or is that also taking bass? That Doomier amp?
They're both on all the time. He plugs, actually he's been plugging his acoustic DI lately,
Okay.
but yeah, if he'll plug an electric guitar into it too. The amps like are made to kind of like work with guitar too. The cabinets have a 15 and 2 12s, so they're dual purpose. They sound good on bass and guitar.
Well, cool, man. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for talking to us. Before we
Yes,
let you
sir.
go, what's the company's name again, and where can
Dale.
people get a hold of you?
Dale Electric is the name of the company, or Dale Amps. It's still a pretty new thing. I have Instagram. It's just
Okay.
my name. It's Elad Shapiro, but it's all going to happen. Dale Amp is going to be the name.
Well, awesome. I know the guys here, the band, are big fans of what you do, and everyone that when you worked at EMS. So,
Yeah.
congrats and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Let's talk pedals with Ben. All right, Ben, pedalboard time. Things look the same a little bit, just like the amps, but there are a few differences. So talk to me about everything.
Yeah.
Still got the BD2.
That is the best overdrive, and it's my favorite overdrive. It cleans up so good.
So for the audience, we're plugged into the twin reverb.
Yes.
So maybe
yes.
give them a clean, like, you know, just straight amp sound.
Absolutely. And then that's the clean sound, and then Blues Driver, when I'm playing through the twin, is kind of always on, so. And then it cleans up super good, so you can set the neck pickup a lot cleaner. That's Blues Driver still on, and then treble pickup.
I can feel it on the floor. It's funny because
Oh, yeah.
you think with the twin reverb and even a Blues Driver, you know, as a drive pedal,
Yeah.
wouldn't get as high gain as it does, the combination. But
Oh,
with
yeah.
the tuning and the pickups, it's heavy, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then in front here, I have the switchless Crybaby wah. I've been using these ones for so long. I don't remember. I think I had
You
a
had the Vox, yeah.
I had a Vox, and I moved back to this because I'm terrible at switching wahs on and off. And this one's the best, so you can just go. Yeah, you don't
That's
have
nice
to.
because sometimes it is tricky when you hit the engage.
It is, absolutely, absolutely. And I love it. It has a good sweep.
Yeah, I love that
Sick.
you attack that wah with like a lot of your stuff with the cocked wah sound,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like Queens of the Stone Age. I love that shit.
Exactly. And then next up, after the wah, it goes into my Polytune, which I love it because it's small and it's easy to see because it's got the white face. And if the stage is dark, I can still see it. That's why I had to put that green strip on the wah, because I didn't have it before, and I was like, where's my wah? I can't see it. And then I have Phaser after the tuner, the Phase 90, Script Phase 90 from MX Star. It goes before the blues driver because then you can get univibe kind of sound. So like. That's pretty cool. I like that. It also gets.
I love how watery it gets.
Oh yeah. But that's a new addition. I love using that. And then after the blues driver, so whenever I'm using the Scatola, which I'll start talking about in a little bit, I'll turn the blues driver off, and then I'll just.
So it's an either or.
Yes, okay. Exactly. So I worked with Matt from Stomp Underfoot on this pedal. It was an idea that I had to have his Russian big muff on one side and then an Octavia, like a Hendrix Octavia, on the other. So the muff is, it's got a lot of mids.
Gnarly, man.
Yeah, and then the Octavia is, love that one a little bit. Yeah, and then we have a song called One by One, which is that. Yeah, it's killer. And then
it sounds so much like a keyboard in a way. Like I know that you guys got Alan back.
It does, yeah. It kind of sounds like a Rhodes,
yeah,
like Wurlitzer-ish. But that's an amazing pedal. I love it.
Now, did that come before or after the Alabaster? I know that you guys worked on that.
Yes, this was after, because I ended up never really using the extra boost function on the Alabaster, and I wanted to have an Octavia sound. And when you use them both together, is that cool if I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Also, I'm playing in C because the guitar is tuned to drop C, so not a lot of variety here. Almost like Fuzz War-ish.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, I know that you've experimented with Death by Audio.
Yeah,
so
it's cool. It's gnarly.
Now you got two delays. How are you kind of?
Yes. So the carbon copy is kind of using it more like a sustain pedal. So it's just adding some softness to everything and some sustain. So. So you're not really hearing the repeats until I stop playing, and it's just nice. With slide, the carbon copy is like the best. It's so good. It just fills in the sound, and I have some slight modulation on it, and I did a mod to it myself because the LEDs are so bright.
Yeah.
So I covered those up. Don't make them as bright. Anyway, and then next up is the Memory Man,
which I know you have or did have an original at one point,
yes.
like the big guy.
I probably went through 6 or 7 of those things, and they all break. I mean, when
the chips get finicky.
Yeah, when you're checking them on a plane and things like that, something's always going wrong. And I've actually had this one for quite some time. I was using the DD5 for like some of the tap delays that we have, like on Am I Going Up or on Alabaster. And I actually just put it back on my board because I was watching the Brent Mason rig rundown. Yeah, so I basically thought, if Brent's using it, then I'm throwing that bad boy on there. But yeah, it's got tap, so I can do. And then you can press down the tap tempo to make it hold.
Takes over for the freeze you had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm using it because if you hold it long enough, it'll slowly start to oscillate.
Yeah.
And the decay of it is nice. It doesn't go away as fast. And then last but not least is the Holy Grail. I love this. pedal so much. And that's mainly with the twin reverb, because a lot of times if we're playing outside festivals, the subs are just shaking the twin and you can't even use the spring reverb. But I'll get wild with it, like on See You Next Fall, I have that clean solo, and
You go spelunking with that.
oh yeah. Yeah. And then since I'm running the 2 amps, again, they're never going at the same time, but I needed one that could do A or B, and it has like ground lift options. The B channel, which is the tail, is isolated, so there's never really any crazy buzz and things like that.
All right, so up until now we've been hearing the twin reverb, everything through there, but I want to give the Dale a fair shot and actually hear it. So we plugged that into the 212 in there. You're going to switch it and we're going to hear it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's meaty.
Come to the show to hear more.
Well, we're going to talk to Parks, man.
Yeah, sick.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Congrats on everything.
Yes.
Love you guys. Congrats on selling out the Ryman.
Oh yeah.
Congrats. Check out the new album, Nothing Has the Ideal. Recorded at Abbey Road, you know.
Yes, sir.
The Beatles, Pink Floyd, All Them Witches.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of them. All right, we'll talk to Parks.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. All right. Everyone, we're over on the other side of the stage with Parks. How you doing, sir?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Yeah, now you've graduated beyond one bass, but this is the OG, the one we talked about first last time.
This was the one for a long time, the only one. And we used to fight each other every night. There's still blood caked on there and rusted, but it still works, and I never use it because I got another one that looks just like it.
Now, real quick, for people who don't have to reference that last episode from 5 or 6 years ago, can you give us a quick story of what happened? I know you bought it, so this isn't anything you did.
No, this is a 1972 Rickenbacker 4001. Something special about it because of the inlays, and I don't know what that is. Whoever owned it before me was a left-handed player, so to cut weight, they cut the horn off, cut the headstock down, flipped it like this, and then when I got it, it had been reverted back to a right-handed guitar. So don't at me, don't talk to me. Don't at me. You know, I get so many emails and things. Who would ever do that to a Rickenbacker? Well, screw you, and you can take that to the bank. So I didn't do it.
Man, it's like not an eyesore, but it's definitely when you come out. I'm sure people
It's a battle axe. I mean, it's got like this leather patch back here, which is very nice.
I want to see how heavy it is. Yeah, it isn't too bad.
No.
It did take off the weight.
The whole thing is if you run the strap up top here, it goes like this.
It's a diver.
Right? You know, every time you're playing, if you let go of it, it goes that way. So I've strung it under for the past 10 years, and all I have to worry about is it going like this, which never happens. So as long as you have a hand on it, it's good.
Well, let's see the replica now, the one that actually are playing.
This one.
Okay, yeah. Before and after.
Before and after. So I needed one that wouldn't cut my hands up all the time, and yeah, it's pretty close. This one's made by Derek Ness here in town, Ness Custom. He called this a Doom Broom, and, the Doom Broom, and they're pretty close. It's a little bit longer. I have a drop tuner on here, thank God, because that happens all the time, and everything works all the time, as opposed to this one. It works right now, but I couldn't say so for last week.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it all worked.
Now, sound-wise, the pickup, I'm sure he modeled after kind of this.
I don't know.
Or do you know if that's aftermarket, or is that something he did?
It's aftermarket. I don't know the company. I know he found them somewhere, but I don't know what it is.
And do you know if it's more output, like when you play them A/B, like is this one louder than the other?
This one has the original toasters in it, and it's brighter for sure. This one you can just make it sound like anything. This one sounds just like this.
That. Okay.
So if being drugged behind a truck or something has a sound, it's this one. And if you want it to sound like
the Doom Broom.
Right, the Doom Broom you can sound like a P Bass, you can sound like a Rick. It has a lot of options there, and it stays in tune.
Cool, man. Well, anything else you want to talk about on this, or should we move on?
Nope.
No,
just joking. Yeah, I got
You got another bass in there too.
I got a couple backups. So.
You got a more traditional bass there, the Fender.
Yeah, this one was my dad's bass.
How cool.
He got it in 65 or something. I think it's a 62. His friends.
Oh, they're going to be atting you now.
Right. They were.
See switches, bud.
Yeah. Well, screw you. Don't at me. If you were to play this bass, you would not at me at all. This is the best bass ever made. I never play it. You can see where my dad's thumb.
Wow. Yeah.
Like that was my dad. That is my dad's thumb right there. And his friends were like sound engineers. They invented speakers or something, and he went to their workshop one day, and they didn't play guitar. They just wanted to screw with a guitar.
Yeah.
So they put a jazz bass pickup in here, put the switches. He bought it from him that day, I think, and smashed this thing in, dropped the case on it, smashed it, and it gave it this crazy sound. You flip these out of phase, you can get all kinds of crazy recording sounds out of this. And
do you record with it? Have you?
I never have.
Okay.
He actually just gave this to me like last year. And it was one of those things where I was always like, hey, what's up with that bass, man? He's like, you're going to have to pull it out of my coffin. And then he gave it to me. He doesn't really play anymore, and now it's got a new life.
It's
the
rad.
bass.
It's beautiful.
Yep. And is there anything else about this bass you would like to know?
I think you covered it.
Cool.
And now with the guitar, I know that you had like a mini Rick or some type of little bastard machine.
Yeah, that was a 66 Rick something. And that was also chopped up and stuff, and I haven't replaced it. It's just so small.
Yeah.
And I only played on like 2 songs that we're not playing on this run, so I left it at home. But I brought this just in case. This is a 69 Gibson SG Custom. And I always thought the Customs had 3 pickups, but this one doesn't. Came factory with a Bigsby. Whoever made it in the shop, I don't know. My dad bought it for $500 in 1969.
Wow.
A week after Woodstock in Plattsburgh, New York.
That's rad.
Hazen's music. I'm going to go ahead and throw the provenance out there for later when I can't remember this, when my brain's gotten destroyed. But yeah, Hazen's music, Plattsburgh, New York. Don't know if they're there. This is the sweetest guitar ever.
Nice.
And I don't play it because I'm a bass player. So, and even on this run, I played it like 2 shows and I switched to an acoustic. So, but yeah, that's my whole everything.
Now to cover the basses, I imagine the replica made its voice known on the new record, or did you use the OG?
No. It was on the new record,
Okay.
and I think that's the first record that I've not used the OG on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We had talked a lot already about the amps, kind of more the recipe that they're used to make. But what do you like about them? How do you use them?
I mean, look at them.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah. You haven't heard them, but they sound about the same. Once I had this made, I got that custom itch. I want all of my stuff. I don't like having stuff that other people have.
Yeah.
And so the fact that Elad pumps these out within like a few days and knows how it all works and has all of the formulas and stuff to make whatever he wants is beyond me. So I just feel glad that I can. I don't touch anything. I don't really know what they even do. No, bass, middle, treb. I think this is a high pass or a mid scoop or something, right? And then master and volume.
And same setup on that
Same.
too? Okay. And
But this is the Model T bass, so it gets a little growlier,
So
and
this
this
is-
is just thick and clean
Gotcha. And I think he said earlier that you do run them both at the same time?
all night.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then my sweet baby Soft Tech is still kicking and is a backup amp now.
Right now she's a paperweight.
Yeah. She keeps the whole pyramid in line.
And now I imagine each head goes through each cab. Why mic this one running the
Because
Dirtier.
Elad
You get a DI?
has built a really great DI in the back of here,
Okay.
like an old Motown DI, right? Yeah, based on the old Motown DI, and comes straight out. But we don't like to hear the DI in the wedges
Yeah.
because it just sounds like floppy
It's-
bass.
mhm.
And I run my dirt all through this one,
Okay.
and so that one's always going, and that one changes.
Well, I know that we're going to be cutting into your sound check a little bit, but let's cover your pedals quick. All right, Parks, we're at your pedal board. To save time, just come check them out live. You know what it sounds like. Check out the record. But to at least document what you have in your pedal board, tell me what you have.
Basically, all this stuff is not doing anything because
Even the raster, I know you used it.
I love the raster. Usually it's in line, and the reverb is usually in my bass line all the time and on. Just a little RV5 just for like a little kiss. But I was using it for practice for a vocal line, just so I had control over my own effects.
Okay.
So the whole tour, those 3 pedals don't do anything. And so it's these 5. It goes tuner, and then it's split into the box. This is my old distortion pedal, the Greer, the little Samson. I would stack it with a fuzz, and once I got this other one, it does the same thing. So I got to take a pedal off my board.
There you go.
So now this is running to the clean just to kind of beef it up a little bit. You get a little bit of more rounder sound. And the delay goes through the clean. I use that on one song.
Which one?
Diamond.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's on other songs and I don't realize it. And then distortion, A/B switch that stays in one position, and that's it. The FOD, I don't know what the FOD is. I don't know
what it stands for, yeah.
I don't know what it stands for. It's all taped up right now, but it's got a little scoop switch in it, and it's great. Yeah, I just took the place of my stacked distortions.
And then just last question, do you run the FOD or FOD through the clean amp or the dirty amp?
The FOD goes through the dirty,
Okay.
the Greer and the delay go through the clean.
Awesome. Parks, again, like I said to Ben, you guys are awesome. Phenomenal humans,
We are.
great musicians. Congrats on everything. Sell out, it's awesome, man. Premier Guitar.
Premier Guitar.